the endurance I have these days. Motherhood taught me, one, your kids are always watching you.
If you could sit down with a younger version of yourself, what would you tell her?
I told myself I can go back, and I did not thought long ago. Don't lose sight of your priorities and what's important for you. So
All right. So I want to welcome Amanda to Why I Run. Before we talk about any of the running, we want to get to know you. So tell us, before you started running or who you are outside of running.
yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Naji, for inviting me. I love watching this like blow up on social media. You're, one of your biggest fans. So how we met is obviously I'm a Marine as well. So I'm a mass sergeant. So before running, I guess, being in the Marines, which is some of my why that we'll get into. I'm
Right.
also a mom. I'm a dog trainer and golden retriever advocate. My husband refers to me as a jack of many trades. I'm a hobbyist. Every time we've PCS'd or done something, I've always gotten into some new hobby, whether it be bow hunting or finding new races or college, whatever it is. My Instagram handle's goal, chase, and habit. And I think it's very well suited because I'm always chasing something.
Yes.
So that's me.
Okay. And then, so what would you say is where we at? If we met you before you started running or running became part of your life, who would we have met?
So that's such an interesting question because I think I've been a runner for almost 19 years now.
Okay.
So I'm like channeling back as like an 18-year-old at this point before a runner. And I think I was goal driven still, but like I didn't have direction, or maybe I wouldn't say I wasn't disciplined, but almost I'll go disciplined. Like I
Right.
didn't know how, like, I think running gave me structure and
Okay.
gave me like purpose. So I think I had goals, and I think I had dreams, but I didn't have goals.
Right. Right.
Or
Okay. So I always tell people you set a goal and you don't take any action, it's just going to stay a dream. That's
exactly
just going to stay at. During that time, what would you say was important to you?
when I started running or before.
Yes, before you started running.
Oof. It's so, like I said, I was a baby. I started running, I think, very early on into my young adulthood. So before running, I would say what was important to me, going to college, getting an education. I'm from the deep south of Louisiana. So like
Okay.
fitness isn't a thing. So like, I remember my mom, she's like in her 40s. Oh, we can't put that on here. She'll get really mad. She like called me one day and she was like, "Did you know steak is protein?" I'm like, "Oh, that's how far back we're on the nutritional background in Louisiana. Like fitness classes and freaking like it's too hot to be outside and be a runner."
I believe it. I believe it. That's so funny. Your mom's going to kill you now.
Yep.
Uh, all right. How different is that version of Amanda from the person that's sitting here today?
Like I said, I don't even remember her. Like when I like go thinking about those things, it's like I don't even know who I was before a runner. I think running defined or took me to that next level of like strength and getting through the other side of some of the darkest times of my life, as we'll probably dive into.
Yes. Okay. All right. So now what I want to do is I want you to take us back to when it all started, which will be running. So where were you? Why did you decide to go? And what do you remember about it?
So I remember being in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And I remember, one, I was not a runner to the point where I remember showing up at a PFT and being like, we'll see if we could pass. And like, I was like a little PFC, and I was like, running 3 miles was terrible, if that made sense. Like, I didn't train for it. I only showed up. I only ran when I had to run, like in formations or for that physical fitness test. I didn't know running. I didn't even know people ran for fun. Like that just didn't register in my head that this was a thing.
Right.
And I had a friend who lived next door to me in Lejeune. She's a sergeant major now. Her name's Shannon Perry. And I don't know if she just knew I was going through something or what it was, but basically she was like, hey, let's go for a run. And I was like, if you met her, she's like a poster Marine. Like, I'm pretty sure she still runs like an 18-minute 3 mile, like to this day. And she could probably do it hungover if she really wanted to. Like, she's just a beast.
Yeah.
Super intimidating for me. I think she was a corporal and I was like a lance corporal.
Okay.
So she comes knocking on the door. She's like, hey, let's go for a run in the neighborhood. And I don't even know how I got the breath to be able to speak to her. But she's the first person I kind of told her I was going to probably get divorced.
Okay.
So I was a mom. I was a new mom at the time. And I was like, hey, I think I'm going to get divorced. And I remember on that run, like it just, everything kind of got clarified on a run. And I think like that was the first time I vocalized it, said it out loud. But yeah, she's the one who introduced me, I guess, to that runner's high or like the runner's thoughts
Right.
when you're running. So it started with Shannon Perry.
Yeah. No, I get that completely. That's where all these ideas come from when I'm on my run. So I definitely understand what you mean. So you talked about or you told her that, you know, you were going to go through a divorce and stuff like that. While you were on that run, and then once you finished, did you think that you was going to go on another run?
I think so. I think I got like that runner's high. And honestly, I got into fitness into when I was like into when I first got married and I realized my marriage wasn't good.
Right.
It's kind of bad when you wake up and you go to the gym and then you're at the gym so long that you need to eat lunch at the gym to do another workout because you don't want to go home.
You better off just working at the gym.
Yeah, right. Like my off time was definitely like Gold's Gym.
Right.
And I wasn't good at cardio. Like treadmill definitely scared me, but like I was definitely like dabbling in weights and stuff. And I started like liking fitness before I became a runner. And I remember like after that run and kind of getting that runner's high, I was like, okay, like this is something that I enjoy doing. Like I can actually think it's like my time. It's just me on the road. And I think that's kind of what activated that point is like running became my solitude, my time, and almost my way of kind of escaping the problems and I guess running away from them for like, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes, but then having to face them anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's like how it started for me is I don't think after any run, I don't think you ever regret a run.
Yeah. No. No. No, not at all. Unless it's one of those ones where you didn't properly warm up for or train for, and now you're
Now,
cramping and hurting.
if you would have asked Lance Corporal me if I would still like get mad if I miss a run, or if you would have asked me if I would have accomplished some of the runs that I've accomplished, I would probably laugh at you. I'd probably call you crazy
Right.
or being addicted to running. I remember me and you one time I worked in the warehouse and I came in one morning and I went straight to my office and I put my coffee down, put my bag down. And I remember like looking up and it was like you and the three other sergeants and y'all all had this very concerned look on y'all faces. And they were like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, why? And you were like, you didn't tell us good morning when you walked in. You always tell us good morning. And then I remember it. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't run this morning. And I still remember that. And it became my thing. I was like, that one time I didn't run, my Marines noticed.
Man, that talking about like real life problems. Like, why are you so down today? Oh, well, I didn't go for my run
I
today,
didn't get my
so
run.
not like cough or anything like that. Oh, man. All right, so you were pretty much running for, I will say, peace or calmness. What would you say you were actually searching for during that time while you were on those runs, though?
So I think like there was a couple different things that intrigued me with running. One, I sucked at it and literally was told like, you could really be a meritorious Marine, but like with that run time, you ain't meritorious nothing. And I was like, cool, like I gotta learn to run. So I was like, okay, so one, from a Marine Corps standpoint, I was like, all right, I should probably try to get good at this.
Right.
And then the other like reason I was running, which I think is the question, sorry, what else was I running towards? I think like I didn't like not being good at something, especially something that I felt that if you train hard on it or you focus on it, you should be able to get better at it. So it became a challenge. Like, okay, you're not good at this. Why don't you see if you can get good at this? And then the other part was it became my safe space. It became like, I can't even explain. You wake up first thing in the morning, you're like, I can't wait to put on my headphones and have a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Ones these days, we had the wires hanging out
Uh,
everywhere, or you like listening to it on your armband.
uh-huh. Yeah. All of that.
And you know, you got your good playlist and you're able to just kind of like either drown out on your thoughts and not think and not have to be anybody to anything. And that kind of went through my stage when I got really into running. It became I was when I got really into running, I think I was closer to being a sergeant. I'm between a corporal and a sergeant.
Okay.
And I was already a mom and I was a single parent. I was already divorced when I got really hell bent into running. And I was like, you know, I'm always mom, I'm always corporal or sergeant, whatever rank I was. I was like, but my run is Amanda. And that became my happy place, which is hilarious that you torture yourself for 30 or 45 minutes and it becomes like a runner's high.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that is funny. Yeah, you definitely. I don't know what it is. You're just like, hey, I need that run. I need that run. Like you look forward to it the night before. You're like, hey, oh man. So they're starting to run, and then there's becoming a runner. When did you, or when did running stop being something you did and start becoming a part of who you are?
So when I left Paris Island and my Marines gave me the paddle that said runner on it, I was like, you've identified me as being a runner. And all my friends became runners. So when I moved from Lejeune to Beaufort, South Carolina, Paris Island, I would say that was when I went in like my running era. Like I was waking up at 05, getting a kid dropped off at daycare, and immediately hitting the pavement before I had to be at work. I had a friend, she was a civilian, and I met her in the gym. I made her do a spin class with me. Her name's Lindsay. She's my best friend. And she would show up at my house at 05. I thought I was a runner. Like she's a civilian. And she would
Right.
be at my house at 05 to go run with me. And she identified my run. Like she never, the runs were mood based. Like if I had a bad day or if I was going to have a bad morning, we were running hard and we were running far. So like we never like had set mileage. It was like, what happened to Amanda last night?
Right.
The tempo. And we
Oh
would run anywhere from 3 to 8 miles.
my gosh.
She would laugh. She's like, man, she's like, you know, Amanda was going through something. Well, we ended up on the back half of Paris Island where the water is by the officers club. And we lived
Oh
right
yes.
by the range. So that was like 8 miles in.
Then you're not angry anymore. You're like, man, how we end up here?
Yeah. Like there's no Ubers to get us back. And we're running
No,
back.
you gotta run back. Man, that's funny. At what point did you finally feel comfortable calling yourself a runner?
When I finished my first half marathon, and I'd say once I got good at running, and it wasn't like once I got my run time down. So after I had my daughter, I ran my fastest run time like 6 months after I had her.
Right.
I went from running, like I said, bad runner, probably like a 28 ish, like third
Hmm.
class PFT type thing, to I think I ran a 24:10 4 months after I had her.
Ooh.
And we started realizing like I'm not natural. Like I have to work and I have to run at it, but like that's what makes me a runner. And I finally went on my meritorious board at that point, and when I was calling myself a runner, and I'll never forget the guy I had to go up against. Like he was like, "Oh, he's like, I never run. I'm just good. Like I can just show up and just kind of run." And I used that later in my board. I was like, you know, like yeah, I know. Like he beat me by like 3 minutes on the run time. However, like I have to train, and I feel like my endurance and I can't just show up and compete. I have to train and be disciplined to be a runner. Like I don't
Right.
just wake up and get to run. I have to dedicate very much time to not suck at running.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's when I started calling myself a runner, because a lot of people struggle at running, especially when they're a junior Marine and stuff. And because I wasn't just natural at it, I started calling myself a runner and be like, hey, let me give you a running plan. Or
Right.
let me tell you how I got my run time knocked down by 6 minutes, you know? And that's even something my husband, you know, he's always been a naturally good runner. So it's interesting to how we've like compete with races together, but how we have to train differently.
Right.
So I think that's when I started calling myself a runner, when I was consistently running, doing half marathons, and significantly dropped down my run time.
First of all, I want to say that to drop your runtime down 4+ minutes in 4 months, that is insane. That is insane. That is like true dedication, especially like for us trying to, cutting down a couple of seconds for a PFT is hard to do.
Yeah.
So for you to do that for, within 4 months, raising a kid on your own, being an NCO in the Marine Corps, trust me, we all know how hard it is. So that is true commitment and dedication. And I commend you for that.
I called it I say it's a super mom, like in me. Like when you have a kid, I don't know what it is, but like having a kid does make you like, it just changes your mindset, I think, to where it like, I was like, whenever I wanted to stop running, because trust me, when I first started running, the minute you have that little stitch or that cramp, you're like, that's enough.
Yeah.
Like you stop. But like when I became a runner, it was like learning to run through that pain and like making sure you did preventative. So I remember like running that PFT and like it got hard. I was like, okay, like you can run for 20 minutes. If you could have a kid and you can labor a child, you can run for 30 minutes. And I literally what I kept telling myself.
Yeah. I can't relate to that.
It was a lot of like me talk. I pretty much hazed myself.
Yeah. So, hey, some people they feed off of that. Some people like when people like, hey, this is how I want to be pushed. Talk to me mean. And I'm like,
Like I
you
don't
suck.
want
All right. Was there ever a time where you felt like you hadn't earned the right to call yourself a runner?
I think you know what's funny about this whole thing? I don't think I've ever like gone out and been like, I don't think I've ever called myself a runner, but I think when other people started identifying me as a runner, that's when I kind of got comfortable with it, if
Okay.
that makes sense. I still like, like lately, if you ask me if I'm a runner right now, I'm going through some health stuff and I'm like, I can't wait to get back running, but I am going to have to start over again. And I think that's the hard part.
Right. No, I got you. Yeah, that sucks when you get hurt and you're just like, ah. Because
Yeah.
then you got like your ego kind of gets the best of you sometimes too. And then next thing you know, you go out there, you're thinking, hey, no, I still got it.
You're
And then you
trying to
end up,
pick up right where you left off.
yep, you cannot do that. So, like, for you, what does being a runner mean to you now?
It's a big part of my fitness. It's a big part of my self care. I think. I think it's like very much taking time out of your day and doing what makes you happy. And running makes me happy, or running is good for me. So running is something that I do. And running has also been a big sense of, and you know this because you're doing exactly what I love about running, the community piece. When I moved to South Carolina, I went to buy running shoes and I ran into my first ever running store. And I got running shoes and I can meet up every Saturday and go run. And then you find people who cheer you on and like you, runners are full of like very positive people. Like it's kind of like a really blind thing. Like it gives you endorphins. Endorphins
Right.
make you happy. So like you just meet some of the best people. So that's kind of what I associate running. It's about the community. It's about always having a safe place to land.
Right. I myself just learned that the running community is like, one, I just learned it's a thing. And then two, there's no mean people in the running community. It's just so weird. Like I have not found one mean, nasty person in the running community.
I know one of my Solano Beach last year, I was Marine Corps marathon training, but I used a 5K to like go. My husband was doing the triathlon, but the triathlon is in the open water, and I have this thing about sharks, so like I always talk myself out of that one. So I was like, I'm just gonna go and run like 9 miles on the 5K route. Like, so I was like, I'll do the 5K and then I'll just keep running. So I was supposed to like hold myself back on the 5K to where I could
Right.
run 9 miles. And Frank, 69-year-old Frank, ran by me holding like a 7:30. And I was like, next thing you know, me and Frank ran that whole 5K together. And it's funny. It's like, so I'm running in front of Frank. Frank passes me and he's like, just so you know, I didn't change my pace. And I was like, so AKA you're slowing down. So I stayed with him and he passed me. I was like, I'm gonna stay with Frank.
Oh man.
And notice I know his name because I totally looked him up because he's the only reason I ran that hard.
Right.
I want to say I ran a 22:34 with Frank that morning.
Go ahead, Frank. We need more Franks in the world.
Frank and I sprinted it out at that finish line. And then
That is funny.
after we definitely high-fived each other. Like
Right.
Frank made my day that day, but there's no mean running people.
No, not at all. Nowhere. I mean, I just ran past a couple this past Sunday, and they're doing the walk run. You can tell they're beginner runners, and my body just naturally said, "Hey, you guys are doing great." Gave them a thumbs up. You guys are doing great. And then I'm like, "If you need people to run with, we are out here at this time every Sunday." And they're like, "Oh man, great!" Like it just happens. Like your body just makes you do it.
Oh yeah. My husband sees all of my half marathon photos, and majority of them, there are a few that like are deathly runs, and he's like, "Oh Lord, like you were feeling it." But the other one, he's like, "How about mile 11 with a smile on your face?" And I'm like, "I'm around my people."
Yeah, oh man. I love it, man. So we see the medals behind you. You got a
Yeah,
whole bunch. I don't they It's like jewelry, we saw the pictures, the race pictures. We know you got those good runs, but that's only part of the story. So was there ever a point where you seriously considered walking away from running, and what happened and what brought you back?
absolutely. And I would say this is something that I'm going to advocate for hard on this lesson. So I have one thing that I want people to take away from what we're talking about today. It's this. I, as a Marine, 19 years in and married still to my best friend, like my husband and I have a great marriage. Being a mom, going through all the stages of single momming to mom to now she's 16. I definitely want to walk away from it, not because of me, like not because I almost walked away from it because of burnout and like a shift in priorities. There was something around my mid 30s that I stopped prioritizing myself and I started making excuses like, okay, I constantly got send the email, make the call, do this, be here for that, don't. And what was taking the back burner was my fitness. And I can tell you as clear as day, it was like a few years ago, I stopped taking chow. I stopped waking up early to get to the gym. I stopped getting off of work and wanting to work out. And that's honestly why we put the 2025 Marine Corps Marathon on our calendar, is because my husband's like, you can't show up and run 26 miles
Mhm.
without dying. So you're going to have to train for it. So he's like, we're going to put it on the calendar to make ourselves get out of the funk.
Yeah.
And, and it was a good choice, but it took me having to put something on my calendar and set a goal to get myself out of it. That's how I didn't walk away from it. But it wasn't like because I was tired of running. It was just because life gets busy and then you start thinking, well, what can I let go? And the one thing you shouldn't let go is anything that makes you happy. Anything
Mhm.
that 24 hours in a day, you could take an hour for a run.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to your husband. That For him to be like, nah, like this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it, and keep you going and keep you grounded.
Yep.
So to have that type of support, especially someone that's like he's a true athlete too. I mean, I
He
don't
did
fear the
not. He did
sharks.
not train for the marathon. I
I,
trained
I
for the marathon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't. For him to be able to go out there and do the all those races and just be so competitive, how he is, especially after what he has done in the Marine Corps too. More power to that man.
He definitely pulled me out of my funk. He's like, "You know what we need?" He's like, "We got to sign up for a marathon." And I'm like, "Do you know how far a marathon is?"
He's like, "Do you?" Oh man, what would you say has been your most difficult moment as a runner?
I had this one. I would say, like I said, kind of like those questions go hand in hand. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you stopped. So there I was running, got my run time down to the 22s, 21s, was very competitive. And then boom, here it goes. Like you start hitting injuries. So I got hit by a car training for a triathlon and I had some back issues and hip issues with that. And then just life starts hitting you hard.
Right.
instead of like using running to go through the hard times, it's like I kind of, for once in my life, went like freeze mode and I stopped prioritizing running. And then when you don't run, you suck at it.
Yeah.
So getting back on that treadmill after like 3 weeks of not doing anything and trying to go back to hold a 7:30-minute mile doesn't work.
Right.
Then you get discouraged and you want to quit, if that makes sense. So it was like this lack of consistency and trying to like literally being like, no, 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 no. Like you need to do this. Like this isn't something that you get to quit on. And it's
Right.
not because like, it's not because like, it's not because of just running being like a fitness thing. It's running is that thing that makes you keep going. And like I said, that feeling after a run
Yeah.
is exactly what you need. And like stress is going to happen, life is going to happen. And running is always one of the best ways to cope with it for me. And
Right.
you kind of found other ways to start coping, sleeping more, doom scrolling, like
Yeah.
all the unhealthy things instead of the good dopamine, get
Right.
outside or get on the treadmill.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Through all of that, what would you say that experience taught you about yourself?
Well, I'm still kind of going through it. I would say like like I had to learn to be kind with myself. So I started very just bare minimum goals again. It wasn't like, especially after running a marathon, right? Where you're running every mile, every run was 6 miles plus whenever you're in that training season. And it had to go into, hey, I could do a walk run. Hey, I can run a 10:30, which is like, oh my God, I mean, that's like failing a PFT, but I can run at a slower pace for further and build my endurance back. So I would say like, that's what I learned about myself is I need to give myself grace. I needed to be okay with starting over and then finding consistency again. So every day, 3:20 p.m., I have an alarm that goes off on my phone that says, if you haven't worked out yet today, you're wrong. And that's my reminder to get back and go do something.
Oh man, that see now I gotta change my my alarms up too.
Right.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock. You're trash. Oh man. So you're not just Amanda the runner. You're a mother. You have a career being a Marine. You have family responsibilities. You have people who depend on you. And I don't want to ask you cliche questions. How do you balance everything? Because I don't know if anybody actually balances everything. Which my wife and I spoke about this recently. There is no such thing as balance.
Right.
But when motherhood, your career, family responsibilities, and running are all competing for that time, what tends to get sacrificed?
So it goes back into my tangent for this one. Obviously, it was my fitness I sacrificed, which was absolutely wrong because then it affected your mental health. It affected your family. It affected my kid. Like your kids are always watching you and they're
Hmm.
watching what you're sacrificing. And your kids' take on things are way different than what you think it is. Like my daughter is a runner. Like I will get home now at like 5 p.m. And if she doesn't have swim practice, she's ran 5 miles or she has like, her goal is she wants to train for a 5K, 10K and half marathon with me. So I've created a runner. So as easy as it is to say sacrifice stuff, like don't sacrifice your fitness, sacrifice the TV time,
Hmm.
sacrifice the doom scrolling, don't sacrifice your sleep, don't sacrifice your work ethic, and don't sacrifice your family. But your fitness, if you don't prioritize what makes you happy and like at least an hour a day of moving your body, it's going to affect your mental health, your work ethic, your mental clarity, your family, all of it. So of all the things to sacrifice, not that one. And unfortunately, it's lesson learned because that's kind of what I started doing. I was someone who was working out at least 4 to 5 times a week. And then I was like hitting a plateau and my daughter's seen a big shift in me,
Right.
just like you've seen it that day. The one morning I missed a run and all of y'all were like, do we need to like, what's wrong with her? What happened?
uh,
So definitely we sacrifice, we make our lives easier with meal prep services.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for
So if you're
sure.
going to sacrifice anything, sacrifice the cooking and the cleaning and figure out how to make that easier for you.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like, I don't know, hire somebody.
Yes.
Have you ever felt guilty taking time for yourself to run or just pursue any goals that you had set?
Yes, and people make you feel guilty. It's I don't know why in the Marine Corps people love to say must be nice.
One of the things I
Me and
hate the
my husband had
most.
to take that out of our vocabulary whenever he was in the drill field.
Right.
I was like, yeah, it's really nice that I get off early because I'm not a drill instructor and you are.
You chose this, sir, not me.
Yes. So for us, for me, it's they make you, people are always going to make you kind of feel guilty or your self guilt. When I was in 29 Palms, didn't have, I had some great leaders and I had some not so great leaders.
Right.
And my daughter was oftentimes the first kid dropped off at daycare and the last kid picked up. And I needed fitness. My husband was deployed, he was in Iraq. I found a gym with a daycare. And on the weekends, I would still I'd set a timer, an hour max, and I would go in there first thing in the morning with Alexis. She would go into the daycare room with her iPad with the people, and I would do my hour workout. And sometimes even after if I didn't get a workout in during the day, I'd always try to use my chow time. That's how I kind of fought my guilt, right? Is I used it after my kid was already at daycare, during my chow time, when she was already at school. I tried to like best work it into a schedule when it was like my time only anyway. And, my daughter a few months ago, we're sitting at the kitchen table and I remember like I ride myself. I look back in 29 Palms and I'm pretty hard on myself because I feel like I was selfish because I still ran a lot. I still was very into my fitness. And Alexis one day said, she's like, she was like, she's like, I want to be like you, where you worked all day, you still made me dinner, still helped me with my homework, and then you still made time to get your workouts in. She was like, you figured out how to do it all, even she's like, even when you're running on empty. And I look back at that and it's funny how I looked at that as like almost like bad mom syndrome. Like, oh my God, I worked all day. She's the last kid picked up. I'm still taking time to go to the gym. I'm still like why, I should be giving my kid this hour instead of going do this. But it made me a better mom because when I walked out of that gym after a hard day dealing with difficult things and difficult people, I was a better version of myself for my kid for those 3 hours before he went to bed.
Right.
So I think that that's important. Yeah, people make you feel guilty and your own guilt. You're always going to think, oh, I could be cleaning or I could be doing this or I could, no, work out
Yeah.
or go do those things.
Yeah, for sure. Would you say you still experience that self-guilt or that the guilt that other people make you feel?
I think no. It's a lot of self talk. If I ever find myself there, I think I get myself out of it very easily. But it takes a lot of like self awareness, a lot of emotional intelligence, like reflection of catching yourself in that cycle and pulling yourself out of it.
Right. Okay. All right. So I do want to ask you a question that's not necessarily tailored to running. I want to know, what has motherhood taught you that or about strength that running has not?
So it goes into like my whole mythology of how I think I have the endurance I have these days. Motherhood taught me one, your kids are always watching you. Like you can't like I love that you call it the no quit crew
Mm,
because you can't quit. You
yeah.
can't quit. If you say you're gonna do something, you better freaking do it. And Alexis has called me out in motherhood. Like I came home, like I get a medal, right?
Right.
Not all these medals. Just like I've never won a half marathon. Let's be clear about this.
Right.
I'm like a sub two is a good day.
Yeah.
And Alexis comes in, and me and Ryan both finished a half marathon, so we both had medals. And she's like, "So, like, who won?" And I'm like, "Well, we finished." And she's like, "Y'all do this and y'all don't even win."
Ah,
So motherhood humbles you.
y'all are that.
On 29 Palms, my husband bought me the Bob stroller, and I think that's when I became a runner. My husband,
Right.
we were dating, and he was like, "Oh, like we need a Bob." And I remember she was like 3, and she's in the stroller and she's like, "You're going so slow." And I pulled her out and I was like, "You run."
Oh, man.
So motherhood's taught me one, they're always watching. Watch when I come home and I see this kid on this I have my treadmill. I have my Peloton tread. My dog is on it
Ah,
right now.
chilling. Chilling.
when I come home and my daughter after school or whatever, she's hitting her miles, or like tomorrow she starts school and I'm on convalescent leave right now. And
Right.
she's like, Mom, she's like, would you be mad if I woke up at like 6 and like worked out before school? She's like, it might be loud. And I'm like, I'm not going to be mad.
Yeah.
So motherhood taught me they're always watching and like, you can't quit.
Yeah.
And they will judge you.
They will keep you humble.
They will humble you and keep you. And then, like I said, my mythology when things, I mean, granted, she's 16, so I don't do this too often, but I would say at least my first 5 years, anytime a run would get hard, I'd be like, if you can raise a kid or if you could labor a child, you can run.
Yeah.
And you can run faster than what you think you can.
Oh yeah. Especially now she's gonna be running those races with you too. You can't let her show you up.
Right? Exactly. See, she can outswim me. She can't outrun me.
Yeah. Would you say, has there ever been moments in your life where you felt like you had to prove you belong, either as a Marine, a mom, a woman, or a runner?
Every day. I feel like working in a male dominated industry, you have to pull yourself. And I'll never forget when I went to sergeant school, I think I was one of the only females in Twin Palms, and it was mostly infantry. And I'll never forget, I finished the run, probably one of the first females, probably. I was definitely a runner at that point in my life. And one of the grunts were like, whoa, like you really set the tone out there. He's like, you pushed me. And I was like, like that is like showing up. Like I might not be able to do 25 pull-ups. I might not be able to do all the things, but like I have the mental endurance and the mental capacity to push and not give up when things get hard. And yeah, I think like proving yourself is always, every time you step up on the line, you're nervous.
Yeah.
I would have died if I didn't finish that marathon, the Marine Corps marathon, where every mile is lined with Marines.
Right.
That was like my biggest, like, okay, like you better be able to finish this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You start, you gotta finish.
Yes. Oh. So yeah, definitely had to prove myself. I don't compete with other people. I compete
Okay.
with myself. And I think that helped me not walking into a room feeling super inferior of a lot.
Yeah.
I've always been my hardest critic and supporter of others. So like I think that helped me, like where I never felt like I needed to be overly dominant to prove my point.
Right.
I think I just show up, I run my race, I push myself in my own capacity, and I try not to compare myself to others in a negative way.
Yeah. No, that's good. Being your own critic, especially your hardest critic, then you don't even hear what other people are really saying, especially when they're like critiquing you negatively.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's cute that you said that. I said things, or I thought way worse of myself, or I
Yeah.
already picked myself apart enough. I don't need to, like, you picking me apart doesn't really faze me.
Not at all. But thank you for that. What do you think people misunderstand about mothers who still want to pursue ambitious goals of their own?
They try to label it like they're escaping from motherhood or not being a good mom. I have a friend and she just went through a very fantastic weight loss journey, and she has younger girls. She has two younger girls, and she's been running 5Ks and 10Ks on Instagram, posting it on her story. And I applaud. I message her all the time. And I'm like, I'm so glad that your kids are seeing the life you're building and chasing for yourself. And I think a lot of people, they try to like hate on others, like, oh, like how dare you make time for yourself? Like you should be cooking homemade cookies, or you should be like, on the PTO and all these other things you could be doing. And I'm not saying your kids shouldn't do sports, but I
Right.
was the person, I dropped my kid off at soccer practice or dance practice, and if that was when I needed to get a run in or I needed to go get a workout in, that's what I went do. And
Yeah.
then I would come back and she got to do her thing and got her energy and her movement, and I got mine. And I think that there's a lot of people who will try to say when you're a mom, that's all you should do, and not even just a mom, spouses, when you get married, and you can't you still have to have your identity, and you still have to do what makes you be the best version of yourself for your husband, for your kids, for your family, for your job, whatever it is. And I think that that's important.
Okay.
And there's going to be those people who try to pull them. There's going to be people who aren't doing it that are always going to have something to say
Yeah, no, I
because
got you.
that's their excuse.
Yep. So do you believe that being a great mother and then still wanting something for yourself can coexist?
Say it again. Sorry.
Do you believe being a great mother and still wanting something for yourself can coexist?
And like I said, if you would have asked me in the moment when Alexis was like under the age of 7, I probably would have been doing it and probably, like I said, covered in mom guilt. But looking back, I think Alexis is so strong and independent, and she has her goals because she watched me chase mine.
Right.
And I think it has to coexist. I think if you are only taking like taking care of your children, are you like, but you're not making time for yourself, there's going to be some gap.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely understand that. You gotta like set that example because,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, they're always watching. And I don't want my kids judging me because I'm a bum.
And if you're not running or if you're not doing something with your life, then what are you doing that your kids are watching? So,
Yeah,
like my daughters watched me get my master's degree. So I'd come home and I have to do my homework. She'd watch me get a run in or take her on a run when
yeah,
she would watch me try to squeeze all these like things in, but also still take care of her. And if anything, I've shown her that you can do a lot of things when you set your mind to it.
right. No, definitely can. So when you're out on these runs and you go on runs alone and everything is quiet, where does your mind usually go?
So to be clear, we do not run quiet. I run to the music that I used to shake my ass to. It is Kirkham Club DJ. Back that ass up by Juveniles on every single playlist.
Oh man.
To the point where the reason I have not done an Ironman is I'm not sure when you do triathlons, you can't have your pro in it all. And
Right.
I literally don't know if I could do 13. I don't know if I can cycle 50 something miles quiet and then run 13 miles quiet after doing all that other stuff.
No, you won't be able to sing to yourself?
I mean, and I tried that. What I do, I run with a same playlist in, and then sure as stuff, like sometimes when you hit something that the playlist is still in your head, which
Hmm.
is good. But I will tell you, it's on my mind when I run. So as you can see, I'm part of a cult, the Peloton cult behind me.
Yeah, I see that. Yep.
And the instructors give so much motivational like speeches that sometimes hit you when you're going through things in life. Especially like I've had some recent setbacks with health issues, having start back up running, realizing I am no longer a track star and I have to start from the bottom and kind of build my endurance back up.
Right.
And just the messages there. Justin says the hardest part of the workout is check done, and that's literally lacing up your sneakers and taking the first step outside. And I think that's a big one. So when I'm running, sometimes it's what's next. Like you said, like this is where all your good ideas come in.
Right.
Sometimes it's a combination of good ideas, sometimes it's a combination of what's next or clarity. Sometimes it's honestly, angry running is one of my things. Like when I am, and I've had to learn how to run happy. When I got happily married and when my life really started falling in place, I was like, oh,
Right.
I don't even need to run anymore. Like and I had to learn how to run happy. And I think that's where the music the playlist kind of changed a lot. But now it's finding positive stuff. Whereas before I used to run to have to like work out the hard stuff. And now when it's quiet and I run, it's a proactive or positive thoughts.
Right. Okay. So, do you think that without running, you will still be the same person you are today?
Absolutely not. No. Just like and I didn't know this until we started this conversation today when you asked me who I was before a runner. And I'm like, man, I can't even answer it. Running's taught me not to give up. Running taught me that your brain will quit on you way easier than your body will. So a lot of things like mental toughness came from running and not quitting when it hurts. You know what I'm talking about. Like when you're running and you get that like stomach side thing, I literally thought my insides were going to explode when that would happen. And I was like, I have to physically stop.
Right.
And I think that's like the funniest one. They don't even have, like, now that I'm a runner, like you don't get those side cramps anymore. And I think it's just funny that those, like, that's the first body sign of like trying to get you not to be a runner.
Yeah.
Maybe they know you have to spend a crap ton of money on shoes and the Garmin and all the other things.
Hey, running is expensive.
Yes, running is expensive. But I think that's important is like, just, I think throughout the hobbies and the different things, it helps shape you and it brings out the best version of yourself. I don't think I would be as good of a wife or mom. I don't know if I would have finished I don't know if I would have quit. Like the don't quit crew or the never quit crew is so fitting for that, because if you can just learn to stick out running, you'll learn not to quit on anything in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's the whole reason behind it. It starts with running. Like running is the base for that, but it's pretty much for like whatever it is that you say you want to do, like honestly just go do it, and that way if you fail at it, at least you can say, well, I tried it and I know I'm not good at it, or it's just not for me, rather than sitting back and just like, "Oh, I wish I would have gave it a shot." You're 10 years down the road, it's like, oh man, I wish I would have just gave it a shot, and who knows where my life would be at right now. But now, we'll never know. So that's the whole purpose behind it. That's the whole purpose behind all of this, man. Just go out there and just try it. you know give yourself the opportunity for something great. We all deserve it. So
Absolutely. I love it. I'm like your biggest fan of this crew,
I
especially
appreciate that. I
as soon as I'm
appreciate
back
that.
up and running, I'm going to be there on Sunday.
Oh yes, yes, we have a spot for you. We're waiting for you and the big dog, but he has to start way after us, though. Like, he can't start with us. He got to start way after us.
He just wants to show off.
All right, so we talked about where you've been, where running has taken you. Let's talk about where you're going. So, what finish line are you chasing right now? Whether it's a race, distance, time, personal goal, or something bigger than running?
So 100% chasing that military retirement right now. I haven't told date. It actually is October 31st, 2027. And I'm thinking about doing the 2027 Marine Corps Marathon one last time. Doing a marathon was always just like a one and done for me. And then, well, it's supposed to be one and done for Ryan and I. And I trained for it, and he did not train as much as I did. And I beat him on it. In his defense, he like stopped and peed like every mile. I know that's a thing.
What?
Yes, he was like, I don't know. He's like, maybe my like race belt was too tight, but he was like, maybe I'm just a nervous peer. Like he was like rationalizing. I don't know why I peed so much. I was like, how are you not dehydrated?
What?
So he was like, I have to go back. I can't. Because like literally as soon as we crossed the finish line, we had like so many people like tracking us. And literally his commander texted him. He's like, hey, your wife beat you. We finished the same time, but he started ahead of me
Right.
because he's like, I'm going to run sub 4. And I'm like, you didn't run past 13 miles training for this thing. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
this is going to go. And no, I'll never forget. We caught each other around mile 12. And then mile 16, he's like, I feel great. I'm going to take off. And I was like, as he left me, I was like, does he realize he has 10 miles left?
Yeah.
Because I
Oh,
was going to
man.
take off at mile 20, and I was running with my old battalion commander, Sarah Culberson. She is a runner.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I think if I feel good at 20, I'm going to take off. And she's done marathons a whole bunch of times. And she was like, yeah, that's only like an hour left of running, like 6 miles, 60 minutes. Like, that's good. And I was like, never mind. Like, I'm definitely like going to sprint when I see the finish line at that point.
You know what? Now that I think about it,
Now that I was like, that sounds awful. A whole nother hour.
trying to
When
sprint.
already 3 hours in.
Oh man, that is crazy.
I was like, I think I'm.
Oh, that's wild. So you talked about retiring. 19 years in, you'll be at 20. Accomplishing that goal, what would that mean to you?
So if you would have met me, well, you do know me, you knew me on that part. I thought I was going to get out at every single reenlistment. I just had other goals, other dreams. I didn't think doing the Marine Corps for 20 was going to be my thing. I just didn't. And then I met different great people along the way pushed. And then once I got to like gunning, obviously I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, and you fall in love with it along the way. Like I've always loved being a leader of Marines. I've always loved being a Marine, but there was times like being a mom, like you asked, like, have you ever had to prove yourself or struggled? Being a mom, being a single mom, being a dual military mom is challenging. And I just kind of always thought I was gonna get out and I did. And so my husband's like, man, sometimes I feel like, you stayed in because I asked you to at some points of your life. And I'm like, I'm so thankful that you believed in me enough to think that I could make it to E8 in the Marine Corps. And,
Right.
and I'm so thankful that you pushed me when I doubted it. You doubt, when I doubted myself being able to be a great Marine and a great mom and still having other accomplishments. And I think that that's like the biggest thing is like, I'm shocked, I'm proud. The community that you've built in the Marine Corps is next to none. Like,
Yeah.
me and you, like we passed each other in career paths like twice now.
Hmm.
And every time me and you ran into each other, the random time at 4th of July, Del Mar,
Yeah.
you take my spot at the warehouse, and like, it just doesn't when you see great people, the people make it worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that the retirement, and I don't know what's next. My husband and I are going back and forth. Are we going to be full-time RV people? Are we going to be dog show people? Are we going to go to destination half marathons? We talked about being living at the base of a mountain that we snowboard at and even being bartenders together and just living the happy Aprez life. So I don't know what's
Right.
coming. I know running to be a part of it. I know no matter
Yeah.
what, it's going to be an adventure.
That is. Hey, shout out to, the supporting partners, those ones that like hold you accountable, but also too like, hey, they kind of know what's right in that moment and they don't allow for you to give up on yourself. And in the community too. I tell people all the time, you will never really find like that village. It's hard to find it like when we were younger and you're growing up and you have that village. You don't really have that now, but here in the military, it's definitely still there. So like shout out to all those people, man. That's
And I think the running community is very close to that. Like, I think if you get out and you're a veteran, even if you hated running while you were in the military, go find a running community. Like, they will take care of you.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That is now you're about to retire. Now you're about to be a runner, a bartender, a dog show trainer. You about to just do it all. And
Right?
a and
The
a and a
hobbies.
your own show. Hey, just do it all. While in the RV. We're not stationary.
That was the hardest part. Ryan's like, you realize your Peloton can't fit in the treadmill in the RV, right? So now I'm like, okay, like where can I do this at?
And this is when you say, cool, we'll just get a trailer.
Right?
Put a trailer. Put
Yeah.
a trailer on there. Oh man. So you had this amazing career as a Marine, amazing mother. You're a runner, you're doing your thing out there. What advice would you give to, a young woman, a young mother who's trying to kind of pursue the same dreams as you, also trying to, balance the family, her career responsibilities and everything like that?
Yeah. Carve out time. Early on, it was early mornings, or it was after Alexis fell asleep, or during my lunchtime. I would pack a gym bag. I'd have a good playlist, and it would be my time. Whatever, like, I know in the Marine Corps we go by last names, so like I would call it the Amanda time. I'm like, it's like Marine mom, but like Amanda still has to exist, and Amanda was the runner, running with people because I'm an extrovert. And that would be my advice. Like, find your hobby, find your happy, and cling to it. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of the things and the people around you. And for me, that was running. And like, you'll never realize how many people you're positively influencing when you're doing the things that make you happy and doing the things you love.
I love that. I love that. I'm telling you that right there is definitely going to hit someone close in their heart. For a second though, I want you to just forget about whoever is going to be watching this. If you could sit down with a younger version of yourself, what would you tell her?
I would have told myself I can go back, not even that far long ago. Don't lose sight of your priorities and what's important for you. So that work-life balance, that home life balance, I always gave the best versions of myself when I was still taking care of me. And I think that like that's a thing. Like you have to be aware of burning yourself out. And burning yourself out isn't by doing too much,
Mhm.
but it's about you not doing the things that you love on top of everything else you have to do. And I think that would be the one advice I'd give her. Like wake up and run.
Yeah. And don't stop. Oh man. So when we started this conversation, I asked you who you were before running. And since then we talked about the first miles, the difficult ones, motherhood, your career, the moments you question yourself, the things that running has taught you, and the person you've become because of all of it. And there's one question I've intentionally waited until now to ask you. But I want to know, why does Amanda Kirkham run?
I think I started running from to get over the bad things. And then I started chasing opportunities and started running to every positive moment and enjoyed the moments along the way. And I think that's why I run. I run to get that clarity, get that push, get that energy that is unexplainable. Surrounding myself with amazing people who chase goals and I mean, we can call them crazy. And to keep that keep you alive. Like you run, I run to feel alive in a positive way and to give myself what it needs to be the best version of myself and to those around me.
I love that. I love to hear that. So one more question. So based off of this whole conversation and whoever's watching this, what is one thing that you want them to remember?
Yeah. Whether it's running or fitness or whatever it is that you set your mind on, I think mental perseverance and not quitting is critical. If there's something that you're thinking about, get out and act on it. When life gets hard, figure out whatever it is that is like good coping mechanisms. And for me, that was running. For me, that was fitness. We're all life's gonna happen, life's gonna get hard, but what you do when it gets hard is what's gonna define you for either the better or for worse. Like alcohol is a big thing. And I think it's easy to find a slump of doom scrolling or drinking or just doing unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
And I think when we're doing things, I think it's important. What am I doing right now? And what is it doing to make me better? Or what, and what could I be doing to make it better? I could have sucked at running, never got meritoriously promoted, continued to suck and never hit pavement. Or I could have went to the gym and did something about it. And that's what I did. And literally being a bad runner is what makes me a great runner and a great leader, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, Amanda, thank you so much, seriously, for giving me the opportunity to hear your story and giving me and trusting me to help share your story, to help encourage individuals who are like you. I'm just trying to find a way, trying to find that work-life balance, trying to pursue goals and being able to see that, hey, you can have dreams and still be a mother or a Marine or whatever it is they're doing. All those things could coexist at one time. So I truly do appreciate the time and the opportunity that you have given me today.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about what you're doing. I can't wait to continue to cheer you on as you go. And I'll see you on the pavement soon.
Oh yeah, for sure.